Hey guys, what's up? So finally, biomes are over now, and this is a very warm welcome from my side. And we are dealing with the most high topic ever: biodiversity, loss of biodiversity, how it is conserved, role of IUCN, climate change, global warming, greenhouse gas, and all those awesome stuff which will give you good marks. So the YouTube channel is obviously an academy, and if you want to know about me or anything or any query or any particular doubt, you can go to this Facebook page and you can comment below the video on YouTube or on Facebook. Your query or doubt, I will try to solve it as soon as possible and will try to include it in the next video. Anyway, so what do you mean by loss of biodiversity? पहली बात तो ये कि हमें परेशानी किस बात की है, क्या दिक्कत है भाई, हो रही है तो हो रही है. हाउ डज इट अफेक्ट यू पर से? Sir, it affects your very survival. Agar if only honey bee species gets extinct, it will make extinct more than 90% of the species on this planet because it's a very chief pollinator. So yes, it affects us. Now what do you mean by loss of biodiversity? So either it can decrease the number of species or you can decrease the number of member of each species. बहुत ही simple definition है. So this is the definition: decrease in number of species or you can decrease the number of member of species. Do you know that the only threat to biodiversity is human beings themselves? Why is that? Why do you think it is that? Because if you remove human beings tomorrow, if all the human beings are suddenly moved away to some other planet or we somehow go extinct by some virus or swine flu, the biodiversity will recover on its own and it will increase drastically within few decades. So it is us who is creating this problem and not vice versa. So I'll tell you about major biogeographic zones of India. So first is the Trans-Himalayan region. So basically more or less it lies in the China, that is in the Tibetan region, but some part will lie in India as well. So this is the Trans-Himalayan region, about 1600 kilometer in length. It runs east to west parallel to the Himalayas. The Himalayas are somewhere here. So these are the Himalayas and this is their extension somewhere here. So this is called as Arakan Yoma range. Now Himalayas, obviously I have told you, Gangetic plain is somewhere here because it arises from Ganga and finally it reaches till here, till West Bengal. And we have the desert region, it is in the western Rajasthan and northern Gujarat. Then the semi-arid region is this region, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and northern Maharashtra. Then moving forward we have the Deccan Peninsula, which is just below Maharashtra, and this region is called as Deccan Peninsula. Western Ghats, obviously, so these are the Western Ghats. They start from somewhere here, Goa is covered and all. Northeast India is obviously, these are the seven sister states. You can remember by the mnemonic Atma. So A is for Assam, A is for Arunachal Pradesh, T is for Tripura, M is for Mizoram, M is for Manipur, and M is for Meghalaya, and finally N is for Nagaland. So this is the mnemonic. This is how you remember: A T M cube N A, Atma. And finally islands include Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And finally coastal region is, this is the coastal region of India, huge coastline of more than 7,000 kilometers. Now, जब से हम Pacific Islands पे human beings have gone, what happened is we have made loss of more than 2,000 species of native birds. एक डोडो नाम का पक्षी होता था, it was famous in Mauritius. So 15th century में when the first settler went there, this bird was not afraid of them. उन्होंने कभी human देखा ही नहीं था. So what we used to catch it, वो जाता ही नहीं था, उसको मार के खा गए. Now we have made all the dodo went extinct within a period of 20 to 50 years. That's it. So dodo is now the symbol of all the conservation effort which goes in the world. That is the power of human beings. We can make any species go extinct within a very short span of time. Although IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature, depicts only extinction of 786 species, a unique number obviously, in last 500 years. However, the actual number is much higher. You can see more than 2000 species in the Pacific Islands itself. Now, what do you mean by mass extinction? Mass extinction is something which the extinction is going on in the background rate, but something is precipitating it. कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा aggravating factors हैं, and which leads to a very rapid pace. Example, the sixth can be said as a mass extinction drive. I'll talk about it. It's because of the anthropogenic activities. Now extinction, please mind this definition, very 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 important. It is the end of a species, okay, and is inevitable, होके ही रहेगा, and capacity to breed and recovery is completely lost, and finally they are no longer able to survive either in the changing condition इतनी ज़्यादा बदल रही है कि they are not able to co adapt with the conditions, or the competition is arising at such a pace that conditions despite remaining same वो competition उनको extinct कर देगा, and finally जो formality है that is marked by death of the last individual of that particular species. Now extinction जो होता है that is also called as a biotic crisis, and just remember WRS, that is it is widespread, it's very very rapid, and it leads to sharp decrease in biodiversity. So this is one extinction of a species which is good because it's not able to compete. लेकिन अगर extinction event हो रहा है तो that decrease the biodiversity, and it is extremely difficult to determine with certainty. कोई कट ऑफ पीरियड हो नहीं सकते, लेकिन हमने फिर भी for our own sake of knowledge we have created it in 6 parts. Now अब कभी कभार क्या होता है, certain species go extinct on paper because we have not seen them for a long time. However, there are certain reappearance, especially in the fossil record, that this happens from time to time, and a typical species जैसे ही वो इवॉल्व होती है उसके बाद विद इन 10 मिलियन ईयर्स इट गेट्स एक्सटिंक्ट. ओके, एक्सेप्शंस आर certain living fossils. So what are these living fossils? I'll talk about them now. They survive with absolutely or virtually no change in them, and their morphological body remains same for hundreds of millions of years. One example which I know is ginkgo. This is called as ginkgo biloba. It's a Chinese plant and it's used in traditional medicine. It is a gymnosperm because gymno means naked and sperm here means seed, so it has the naked seeds which that is flowering is not there. And can you see these leaves? So these are the fossils of ginkgo biloba 130 million years ago, and this is ginkgo biloba leaves now which is present today in China. We have other living fossils as well, like various animals, bacteria, protists. The characteristic example which I remember is crocodile, the entire crocodilia family, crocodiles, alligators, etc. Then we have certain sharks like blind shark, elephant shark. Then certain bony fishes like coelacanth. Then there are certain spiders also in this category. So there are lots of living fossils today. Now, mass extinctions are relatively rare events. However, isolated extinctions are quite common. और this is the key feature. Most species जो extinct होती है उनका पता चलता ही नहीं है. They are never ever scientifically documented. So the rate at which we are losing our biodiversity wealth far exceeds than the rate at which we are recording them. And finally, recently there is an alarm by the current high rate of extinction. Finally, extinction कब होगा? Mass extinction when rate of extinction is more than rate of speciation. Rate of speciation मतलब creation of a species, while rate of extinction मतलब destruction of a species. So if rate of extinction is more than rate of speciation, तो mass extinction होगा. And this is the key feature. So we are, हम बहुत ही छोटे हैं. We are just a drop in a rain. We are just a number, not a name. We are needle in a haystack. 99% of the species जो अपने आप को बहुत ही बड़ा समझते थे, डायनासोर टाइप, that ever existed on earth are now extinct. So we can go extinct anytime, so we have to take care of that. Now what is called as background rate of extinction? So background rate of extinction is standard or normal rate of extinction in earth's geological and biological history, which occurs between, let's say this is a major event, then this is a major event, तो इसके बीच में भी तो कुछ extinction होगा ना. So that is called as background rate of extinction, and it includes the events usually before man came into picture, that is about 10,000 years before, and it is equals to 2 to 5 families of marine invertebrates, or 1 million mammals, or 11 million invertebrates. Is that understood? Then we have several major mass extinction which has occurred, which are, there are 6 in number. Why they are called as major? So let's say this is background rate of extinction. Suddenly एक spike आएगा, उसमें बहुत सारी species extinct हो जाएंगी in a very very short period of time. Then this is background rate. Then this spike will come, and finally this certain spike which are huge, which cannot be recorded on graph. So these 5 major events जब तक हो चुके हैं उसमें more than 50% species have died. The most recent जो fifth था, that was called as Cretaceous Paleogene or Cretaceous Tertiary period of extinction. It was about 65 million years ago. ये बहुत ही लार्ज स्केल पे था. ऑब्वियसली दैट इज कॉल्ड एज मास बिकॉज इट इज़ अ लार्ज स्केल. इट वॉज डन इन वेरी वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम जियोलॉजिकली स्पीकिंग. एंड जो नोटेड है वो बिकॉज ऑफ एक्सटिंक्शन ऑफ डायनासोर्स. Now Holocene, Holo is the current period, that is the sixth extinction rate, that is the fastest and it is the most rapid extinction. जो speed है you can't imagine, it's 100 to 1000 times which is ever recorded. उसका जो best recorded speed थी उसके भी 1000 times ज़्यादा. And it is obviously characterized by us, humanity's presence. Why this happens? Have you ever known? आप रोड बनाते हो, आप कंक्रीट के जंगल खड़े कर रहे हो, so you cut some jungles for those concrete jungles. So you rampantly exploit natural resources, which leads to destruction of habitat, climate change, and finally, obviously, those who are dependent on it will go extinct because most of the species cannot adapt in such a short time. Humans make changes within a matter of years and decades and centuries, while evolution makes changes over a matter of thousands to lakhs of years. So evolution cannot adapt within a period of, let's say, 10 years or 20 years. So that is why innumerable species have already gone extinct. So it is now our moral duty to protect biodiversity. What is called as 50-50 rule. अब extinction पढ़ रहे हो तो ये भी सुन लो. So if the current rate continues, 50% of species will go extinct in 50 years. And by end of 21st century, 50% of species will definitely go extinct if we don't do anything about it. So within next 50 years, 50% of all species will go extinct. Now some groups, for example amphibians, they are far more vulnerable to extinction. Okay, and approximately 25% of all biodiversity is under threat. So I have already told you, like dodo bird, passenger pigeon, aurochs are like, they used to be ox, there used to be bigger ox, water buffalo kind of thing. Tasmanian tiger was there on like Australia. Then quagga, which is a zebra kind of species. Talers sea cow, it is like a cow but it is in sea, it's a type of mammal. Then Pyrenean ibex, then we have Falkland Island wolf, then Atlas bear, Caribbean monk seal. So these are all example. Have you heard that there were tiger on Indonesia, Bali tiger, Javan tiger, Caspian tiger, then there was black rhinoceros in west. So all these have been extinct because of us. So we have to take care that no more species get extinct at a faster pace than background rate. Now what are the causes of biodiversity losses? कुछ तो मैं बता चुका हूँ, habitat destruction, fragmentation, degradation. अब कुछ diseases वगैरह फैल जाते हैं because of overcrowding. Then there are climate change, ecological imbalances, obviously shifting cultivation or zoom cultivation. Then there is pollution. Now one of the important reason is over exploitation and introduction of exotic species. ये हम दो डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे अभी. तो बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस से क्या होता है? द मोस्ट ड्रास्टिकली चेंज इज सीन इन ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट. तो पहले 14% कवर करते थे, अब 6% कवर करते हैं. और अमेजॉन रेन फॉरेस्ट विच आर कॉल्ड एज लंग्स ऑफ प्लेनेट अर्थ, देखो हम हमारे लंग्स की क्या हालत कर रहे हैं. जैसे सिगरेट पी पी के हमने लंग्स खराब कर लिए, वैसे अर्थ के लंग्स को भी खराब कर रहे हैं. फॉर बाय सोयाबीन कल्टिवेशन एंड फाइनली कन्वर्जन ऑफ ग्रासलैंड टू एक्ट एज फॉडर फॉर कैटल. अब फ्रेगमेंटेशन क्या होता है? फ्रेगमेंटेशन होता है तो जो बड़ी बड़ी स्पीसीज होती हैं, विच आर कॉल्ड एज की स्टोन स्पीसीज लाइक टाइगर, लायन एक्सेट्रा. So what happens is they require very very large territories, and finally migratory birds are also there. So these require very very large territories, तो उससे हो नहीं पाता है. So that it creates problem, and since keystone species extinct हो गई तो उन पे जो dependent होगा वो भी extinct हो जाएंगी. Now finally over exploitation. So Mahatma Gandhi once said in a very very beautiful quote that world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. That is a very very key point. So over exploitation will not be sustainable, and it is inevitably leading to decline in biodiversity. Now what is co-extinction? मान लो आप किसी पर dependent हो. For example, if you are obligatory dependent on someone, तो old age में क्या होता है, जैसे spouse की death होती है ना, तो 50% of the spouse they die within 5 years of the death of spouse, because they are emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, everywhere they are dependent on their spouse. So something like this goes on in co-extinction. So example in case of lichen, if a fungal species get extinct na, so algal species जो से associated थी in lichen, they also get extinct. This is also seen in case of a plant pollinator. For example, उसका pollinator मर गया तो plant will also go extinct in certain years. Now introduction of exotic species. सो बेसिकली एक्जॉटिक मतलब ऑब्वियसली दे आर इंट्रोड्यूस फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, अपना नेटिव प्लेस नहीं है उनका ये. सो दे आर डन समटाइम फॉर ऑर्नामेंटल पर्पजेज, उनके बहुत खूबसूरत फूल होते हैं, और इट कैन बी डन एक्सीडेंटली टू मेक अस फूल. Most of them are harmless. I'll not say all of them are poisonous. So these are key features in MCQ. अब MCQ में exotic के नीचे harmless देखोगे तो आपको लगेगा ये क्या nonsense है. But actually they are harmless. But some turn invasive and they compete with the local species for similar limited resources. This is the key point. वो resources same है. Then you are competing with the local species. अब finally it lead to decline or extinction of indigenous species. Is that understood? एग्जाम्पल है इसके, जैसे नाइल्स का पर्च है. तो वॉट इट डन इन, एक किकलेड स्पीसीज होती हैं, दे आर टाइप ऑफ एक्वेटिक एनिमल. सो लेक विक्टोरिया ईस्ट अफ्रीका में बहुत बड़ी सी लेक है, उसमें से 200 स्पीसीज ऑफ किकलेड स्पीसीज हैव एक्सटिंक्ट बिकॉज ऑफ नाइल पर्च. नाउ ऑब्वियसली वी हैव हर्ड पार्थेनियम ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज कैरेट ग्रास. देन देर इज लेंटेना, ये पहाड़ों पे बहुत होती है. एंड फाइनली वाटर हाइसिंथ और इकॉर्निया. ये पेड़ इतना डरावना है, इट्स कॉल्ड एज टेरर ऑफ बंगाल. So this is the level of it creates terror. And lantana, it grows on hills and it destroys the local trees. They are called as invasive weed species. They have done enormous environmental damage, plus they pose threat to our native species. Can you see this? So this is Ecornia crassipes, also called as water hyacinth. It covers the entire water body. इससे ऑक्सीजन कम हो जाता है और जो स्पीसीज हैं वो मर जाती हैं. Plus you can also fall down thinking that it's a garden and you will be able to difficult to come out. Then African catfish, also called as Clarius, it was introduced for aquaculture purposes. Now it is threat to the indigenous catfishes. So again you can see this is a harbor in Kenya, and this Ecornia has completely destroyed this harbor by growing everywhere. So you can see this diagram. So 45% of species are only with least concern, while 55% have some concern. If you can see this part, 10% of the species are critically endangered and 8% are already extinct. Rest of the falls in other. We will talk about it in next class. Now, why do we need conservation of this? Why do we need conservation at all? So first we will talk about conservation biology. So it is basically the scientific study, not any study, of nature and status of Earth's biodiversity. The aim is the protecting of species and their habitats from excessive rates of extinction. Is that understood? First point. Now it is an interdisciplinary subject which draws on natural and social sciences. Is that understood? And finally the practice of natural resource management. Is that absolutely understood? So basically it is not a single study. So हमारा जो aim है इसमें not only to protect the species but also their habitats, because if habitats gone, so very difficult to protect the species. And finally, not only biologists but also social scientists are required along with natural resource management. So this approach is called as multimodal or multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary or eclectic approach. Is that understood? ऐसे ही आंसर लिख के आना. Now communities with more species obviously tend to be more stable. So stable communities क्या होती हैं? Which are resistant to disturbance, either natural or man-made. There does not show too much variation in their productivity. And finally कोई भी इन्वेजिव और एक्जॉटिक स्पीसीज लेके आओ, उसको उखाड़ के फेंक देती है स्टेबल कम्युनिटी. हम नहीं लगने देंगे. दे आर वेरी रेजिलियंट. अब रिच और स्टेबल जो बायोडाइवर्सिटी होती है ना, दैट इज नॉट ओनली एसेंशियल फॉर इकोसिस्टम बट ऑल्सो फॉर द वेरी सर्वाइवल ऑफ ह्यूमन स्पीसीज. नाउ इकोसिस्टम सर्विसेज ये होती हैं. फर्स्ट इज सपोर्टिंग सर्विसेज. ऑब्वियसली these services are necessary for production of all other ecosystem services. Like what? Now provisioning services पे आ जाओ. So these are the economic gains which you obtain from them. Example, food, spices, like fuel, wood, lumber, fodder, fertilizer. Now this is very important, very expensive also. एक टैक्स या टैक्सल ड्रग्स होती हैं, दे आर यूज्ड फॉर ट्रीटिंग कैंसर्स. देन क्यूनिन फॉर ट्रीटिंग मलेरिया, सिनकोना. Then there are lots and lots of drugs. Finally, crop improvement, genes are taken from them, drugs, pharma, chemical models. And finally, water and minerals are also taken from them. Example, diatomite earth. In the last video, I talk about it. Then we have energy production. Example, hydropower, biomass, fuels. Then ornamental, obviously. Then we have regulating services. So these are benefits which are obtained from regulation of ecosystem processes. एग्जाम्पल आपके ग्लोबल वार्मिंग कम करते हैं बाय हेल्पिंग इन कार्बन सिक्वेस्ट्रेशन। जितना भी वेस्ट और कचरा भी कोई कुत्ता या फिर कोई मर जाता है सड़क पे, सो इट डज़ नॉट, आपको क्लीन करना पड़ता है। लेकिन फॉरेस्ट में तो कोई क्लीन करने नहीं आता है, वहाँ पे बैक्टीरिया एंड फंगस डीकम्पोज देम एंड कम्प्लीटली टर्न इनटू देम ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल एंड इनऑर्गेनिक मिनरल्स। फाइनली प्योरिफिकेशन ऑफ वाटर होता है और एयर होता है उनके कारण। एंड फाइनली जो पेस्ट और डिजीज कंट्रोल होते हैं, यू विल नेवर सी सच पेस्ट इन्फेस्टेशन इन मोनो, ओनली इन मोनोकल्चर इट इज सीन, नॉट इन फॉरेस्ट। Finally, we have something called as cultural services. So basically, these are non-material benefits which people obtain from ecosystems through spiritual enrichment. आपको अच्छा लगता है नेचर में वॉक करने से. Finally, it leads to your cognitive development also. You reflect on it and it helps in recreation and aesthetic experiences. Example cultural जैसे national symbols वगैरह. It gives you a sense of proud. Then spiritual and historical. Obviously, tribal people still worship nature. Many religion worship nature. Then recreational experience, ecotourism, outdoor sports and recreation. Then finally, science and education. Obviously, it helps in scientific discovery. The most important argument which I like is ethical argument. आप भूल जाओ कि आपको उससे कोई फायदा होता है या नहीं होता. But every species on this earth has right to live because they have an intrinsic value. They are part of this earth, they are part of this biodiversity, even if they may not be of current or any economic value to any of us. So, we as a superior species, as an intelligent species, we have a moral duty to share this planet, conserve their habitat, and finally, this is called as definition of sustainable development. Pass on our legacy in a better state than we find it to the future generations because we owe it to them. So I hope you guys like the video. You can go to this page and comment if you have any doubt. Also comment below the video. You can also tweet to me at Roman Saini. Do spread the word, and especially for those who cannot afford coaching. Thank you for watching the video. Have an awesome day.